Good afternoon, everybody, and Merry Christmas Eve. This is Joe Morrison hosting the Steelers day shift today, as we're typically the night shift, but the Steelers day shift is live today. A little quick episode today. Wanted to definitely get you guys an opportunity to share some of your favorite Steelers Christmas memories and your thoughts about Detroit, and also thoughts about the upcoming potentially game-clinching game against the Cleveland Browns. As you can see right here, I got a little festive and have my Steelers stocking up. Hopefully, Santa brings me what I really want for Christmas this year is an AFC North title, and the Steelers are going to have two opportunities in one weekend to get that. So let's start there. So the first opportunity, of course, is very simple for Sunday. The Steelers win, it's done. AFC North is their first one since 2020. And you got to imagine that Mike Tomlin and this front office is hungry to get that done, as well as these players. Make no mistake about that. They came close last year, went to Baltimore with a chance, had it right there in their hands for the taking, and just couldn't come through in Baltimore, as we all remember that. And then, of course, 2 weeks later, they limped their way into the playoffs and face Baltimore again. This time, I'm sure the entire team wants that home playoff game. So that is going to be the first thing to get there. Is if you just win Sunday, doesn't matter what happens with the second scenario, which is if the Ravens lose on Saturday night in Green Bay, the Steelers win the division. Sunday won't even matter. But with that being said, even Mike Tomlin acknowledged yesterday in his press conference that the past couple trips to Cleveland haven't gone as they would have liked. In fact, since 2018, they are 1-5-1. And I'm sure a lot of you folks can remember the one win and the one tie. 2018 was the opening day tie in which they committed 7 turnovers. And of course, that one win was Ben Roethlisberger's last start in Cleveland. So with that being said, it is AFC North divisional football. And it's going to be a tough matchup regardless of who it is or how things are going. Cleveland hasn't had the best season. And you know that they would just love to spoil Christmas for the Pittsburgh Steelers. With that being said, if the Ravens can't get it done Saturday night, what kind of mindset changes? I'm sure it's still going to be, hey, let's go get the win and let's still finish the season out. If they could finish 11-6, I mean, it would beat my prediction, which was 10-7 this season. So I would love for that to happen. And we have a couple comments already. First one at Mr. Tommy says, "Happy holidays to all." And Mr. Tommy, we appreciate you taking the time to tune in to the Steelers day shift, is what we're going to call it now, just for today at least. Merry Christmas Eve, Merry Christmas, and I hope that you have a wonderful 2026 as well, because next week we'll have a not Christmas Eve, a New Year's Eve show. Who knows? Maybe we'll get a little crazy in there. And then my favorite screen name, Branson Sloppy Seconds. He says, "I want Santa to bring me a Ravens loss so we can get more development reps for the young guys on the team. Would love to see a Caleb Johnson game." And Branson, appreciate you tuning in as well. One of our regular folks on the show. No, I agree. If the Ravens lose Saturday night, I do kind of wonder what kind of mindset shifts, because let me start here with the Cleveland game. If they win, or if the Ravens lose, and say the Steelers are up, a couple scores in the third quarter, do you then kind of start working in those younger guys, get them some more reps, kind of knowing that, I mean, in all likelihood, you're going to be just the 4th seed. I don't see the AFC South teams losing out and creating that gap, if you will, or shrinking that gap, if you will, to give Pittsburgh opportunity to move up into the 3rd seed. I think, if the Steelers win the division, their fate is pretty much sealed there. They're going to be the 4th seed and likely hosting either, at this rate, Buffalo or the Chargers. So I think that's a good wish, Mr. Branson. You would definitely like to see some of those young guys get worked in. So one of the guys that's going to get worked in is second-year receiver Roman Wilson. I'm sure is going to get plenty of opportunities this week, especially. And probably even against the Ravens as well, especially if they win the division. I imagine that Week 18 game is going to be a lot of guys resting, even if DK Metcalf wasn't going to be playing, or even if he was going to be playing. So, but yeah, Metcalf, he's suspended next 2 weeks. Say what you want about the situation, whether you think, the NFL it was too harsh, whether the fans should have been doing. At the end of the day, DK Metcalf can't do that. He's got to block out the noise best you can. But with that being said, it is what it is. As Coach Tomlin says, one man's misfortune is another man's opportunity, and we'll see if Roman Wilson can maybe take advantage of that, especially with Calvin Austin dealing with a hamstring injury too. Matt Nerdy says, Merry Christmas. Matt, we appreciate you tuning in, and Merry Christmas to you as well. And he also asks, there's no way for Steelers to move up. And kind of looking at the standings, it's possible, but not likely. Steelers have to win out, and ideally, you would want, Jacksonville and Houston to almost in essence lose out, but I don't think that's really possible, kind of looking at the schedule, because Jacksonville plays against the Titans and they play against the Colts, two teams that are, let's call it what it is. They're hurting. Titans weren't very good this year. Colts have dealt with a lot of injuries. I'll get to Phillip Rivers here in a second, but I don't see those two teams losing out like that. I really think Jacksonville is going to finish 13-4 and seal up at least that third seed, and you have Denver and New England fighting for that first seed. So I think the fourth seed would be a fate sealed for Pittsburgh if they win the division. So, at this point, I don't even think they can get a wild card spot because, again, the team that they'd have to hurdle over in that situation is Houston, who's sit at 10-5, and Houston, has a pretty favorable slate as well. So, but we shall see. We shall see what happens there for sure. Branson has a comment and question as well. If Ravens lose, do you switch Mason and Will on emergency and QB2 roles? That's a good question. I don't think for Sunday they will, because they'll still operate as if their game plan is still in motion, as if Baltimore was winning or won, or that the fate hadn't been decided in that way regardless. I think that would be more of a week 18 type of thing. And I can already tell you, if they've won their division as of Sunday or Saturday night, week 18, I don't see Aaron Rodgers playing. Mike Tomlin's very big on, if he can rest his guys, he's going to do it. Only 2 times have I seen any veterans with the playoffs sealed. He played that final week. Really, I think just once. That was 2008. Funny enough, Ben got hurt in that game. I think that's what kind of stopped Tomlin from doing that moving forward. Ironically, though, that's the one of the only seasons that they've been to the Super Bowl was that 2010, where all the starters played in that final week of the season with the playoffs already in hand. So, but yeah, no, that's interesting. Interesting thought for sure. Week 18, though, I really think maybe you see a little Mason, maybe see a little Howard. I don't think Howard would get the start, but I'm just as curious as you are, though, to see how that would go. Matt Nerdy kind of following up says, he figured, but that's checking. No, it's great questions. We're into that part of the season where there's a lot of scenarios at play. So any questions like that can kind of get my thoughts going, I'm all for it, because it gets me thinking on the spot and wakes me up, because this caffeine hasn't hit yet, guys. All Howard species says, sup Steelers family, we appreciate you tuning in. Merry Christmas. Gold medal Mike, it says, hey, let's the Texans or Chargers come get some Pittsburgh hospitality in January. Yes, 2 warm weather teams, like you said. Yeah, I have a feeling that, and I get it. A lot of folks are going to say there's no chance Steelers go to the Super Bowl. Maybe a lot of people probably thinking there's a pretty good chance they can get a playoff win this year, because they are playing much better in December. But if you did ask me, would I rather play against Buffalo or a warm weather team in the opening round? I'm with you there, Mike. I'd rather have a warm weather team. Unfortunately, though, I am also of the mindset of if you want to go and do big things, you gotta beat the big teams, and I really think that because it's never easy, that somehow it's going to be Buffalo coming to Pittsburgh if the scenario plays out that way. Benny says, Merry Christmas to all. We appreciate you tuning in as well. And folks, this is probably one of my favorite times of the years, not just, for Steelers stuff, but, see the kids go crazy. I remember years ago, about 4 years ago, actually, one of the Christmas presents that we did for my son is we wrapped up some little printed tickets that we made and told him he'd be going to his first Steelers game, his first Penguins game, and he was so excited and created so many memories. And that was a really, it was Ben's last year. That was a very up and down year, but that was definitely a highlight. And then a week later, got to a car accident and had a concussion. So, what a year. Branson following up. If Dylan Cook impresses against Miles, does it make the left tackle competition next offseason? I say 100%. 100%. And that's nothing against Broderick Jones. I think it's more all about Dylan Cook, because if you have someone who can step up and play as well as Dylan Cook has these past couple years, or not years, couple games rather, and Broderick Jones has been kind of up and down the past couple of years, I think it creates that competition. I think it creates that conversation, and we'll definitely see. I mean, Broderick Jones was a first-round pick, so he'll have every opportunity to win that job in that scenario next offseason. But no, I think it's a good problem to have, having two capable left tackles. Very good problem to have. He also kind of clarified, said more interesting. No, for sure. It does make that left tackle position more interesting. And also, God, think about it. Troy Fautanu's been fantastic. Having Broderick Jones, who's played better this year, and then having Dylan Cook as your backup swing tackle, that's fantastic, man. You're in a good spot to be in going into next year. How about that? I mean, 4 years ago, you looked at the Steelers' offensive line, you thought, good Lord, this is going to take forever. And it felt like forever, but it was only a matter of a handful of years. And the Steelers suddenly built a really good offensive line. So it's really awesome to see everything come together. And I'm very, very excited to see how Dylan Cook does on Sunday. Just don't let Miles get a half sack or a sack at all. That's my only ask, because I would like for that to extend out just one more week. And if he gets it, he gets it. Great for him. Myles Garrett, he is a generational player, just like TJ Watt's a generational player. I think the AFC North, between him and Watt and Hendrickson, they're very blessed to see such great pass rushers play, and what fun it is to get a little debating in on that. But two great pass rushers, man. Mike kind of following up says Brandon Eccles is underrated. What are your thoughts? Man, I'm not going to lie to you. I really hope this injury is not going to be time consuming at all, because he is. Yeah, I agree. He's been a very solid piece in the secondary. I think his contributions in the slot, and even when he's had to kick out to the outside, have been very good. But then you think about the play of James Pierre and Asante Samuel on the outside, has kind of kept him in the slot, and he's been great there. I really hope that his injury isn't anything that's going to hold out to the potential postseason, and he get back. And most importantly, I hope they can find a way to bring him back next year. It's a great shout out for Mr. Eccles, which is interesting. I wrote before the season began. He and Aaron Rodgers were on the same team last year, and Rodgers routinely challenged him, and it was really a cool thing to kind of listen to Rodgers and Eccles talk about just small things like Rogers would say if Eccles' hair was one way, it was going to be a good day. If it was the other, it wouldn't be such a good day. Just funny hearing funny things like that. It's always cool to see relationships grow like that and getting to hear those stories. So that folks, we're at the 15-minute mark, so we're gonna go for about 5-10 more minutes. But I want to ask you guys this question now. I want to ask you two questions actually. What is your favorite Christmas memory, just regular memory? And then what is your favorite Steelers related Christmas memory? I'd be very curious to see if we have any folks who are mature enough to remember, I don't know, listening to the Immaculate Reception live or watching it live. I'm always interested to hear stories like that. And I think one radio broadcaster kind of said it right, that there was more people who were in the stadium that saw the Immaculate Reception than who were actually in the stadium. I think that's always a funny little quote there. I'll start off though. My favorite Christmas memory when I was a kid, uh, my parents got us a PlayStation 2, me and my brother. And the first games were Hurdy-Gurdy and I think it was Finding Nemo were the first games they had on there. It was great. We didn't have a console like that for a while. And no, it was a lot of fun. And, played that all day, all day. Me and Andrew were fighting over who got to play. And we had to let Lydia play too sometimes. So, but no, that's how we became a PlayStation family right there. Steelers related though, I'm gonna have to say, I'll have to say the Immaculate Extension because that's the 2016 game when they debuted the Color Rush uniforms and came back from being down 20-10, and then guys like DeMarcus Ayers, Jesse James, and of course the guy who made the biggest play of the day, Antonio Brown, all came together, and that was a fun game. I remember being in the living room with my dad, and when he stretched out and got the touchdown, man, that was me and my dad we were up, and it was great. That was a fun year. And my son was 1, almost 2 that year, and he was a little more aware of Christmas too. So, and I will say, 2017, I didn't really like that they scheduled Steelers on Christmas again. And I didn't like they scheduled Pittsburgh on Christmas last year. I like to enjoy my holidays without stress. So, don't know how y'all feel about that, but Branson kind of chiming in on the Christmas talk. He said, I remember my worst memory, and it was last Christmas, which last Christmas was that Chiefs game. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm kind of glad I was busy throughout the day. I mean, like I watched the game, but I was also taking care of our Christmas dinner stuff. So it was, that was how much things have changed. I mean, Russell Wilson's not on the team anymore. George Pickens isn't on the team anymore. And of course, those two kind of had the big highlight stories from that. How much has changed from a team that was collapsing to a team that appears to maybe starting to get hot? A lot can change in a year, and a lot can change in a few weeks. Matt Nerdy, follow up says, Mason Rudolph Saving Christmas. It's a wonderful life being on every year. So that's a great memory right there, Rudolph. And I actually have not seen that movie yet. I don't think. It's a Wonderful Life. The movie that we watched growing up every year was A Christmas Story. That was like my dad's favorite thing to watch every year. My favorite movie to watch every year is Elf. I don't know. It's one of those movies that I just find very interesting. But I also have not ever watched Christmas Vacation. Everyone tells me I gotta watch it. I never make time for it. And I've heard it's like one of the funniest movies ever. So that and It's a Wonderful Life, there's just are movies I haven't watched yet. And I got to get better. Guys. Gold Medal Mike, he says, I'm glad brought up this topic. I was a kid with my mom in the Oyster House on Market Square when the Immaculate Reception happened. Wow. That is like specific. That's awesome right there. I'm curious to know if Yeah, see Market Square, so that's got that the Oyster House. Yeah, I'm curious to know, like, I would actually love to hear more about this story if we ever get a chance to connect, Mike. That would be something fantastic to really kind of get you to reminisce and talk about. Because yeah, dude, that's like very specific, like time, place, and when that happened, just across the river. That'd be yeah, that's awesome. I'm gonna have to hit you up sometime, man. Ranch and Sloppy Seconds says White Christmas every year reminds me of my grandma. See, I love hearing memories like this, man. Yeah, I'm gonna have to make sure to definitely make note of these, and hopefully next year we can all share them again, and we'll make a time next year. I know Christmas Eve will be on Thursday next year, so who knows? Who knows? Maybe we'll do a little shift change for this show. So that's where we're at with the catching up on comments, though. But um, yes, and shout out to the night shift listeners, as Mike says. You guys always come through, always here. I know it's busy. I appreciate everyone kind of jumping on and chit chatting and whatnot. And here is what I will say going into the holiday season stuff. Appreciate you guys. I don't do this to try to get a name out there or anything like that. I do this because I really do enjoy talking to you guys. You guys make it fun. You guys bring up some great stories. I mean, I'm serious. Like Mike, I'm gonna have to like really. I'm gonna like formally interview you about that story sometime. That's got my curiosity spinning. So with that, folks, I think we are going to come down to the final horn. I appreciate you guys all punching in a little early today to make sure we can close up shop for Christmas Eve. I hope everyone has a Merry Christmas, and be sure to catch the afternoon drive today with Mr. Saunders and Mr. Smitty, as they're going to surely be talking about injury updates and things going into this week. I appreciate everyone joining me for a little bit, chatting it up. Next Wednesday is going to be the New Year's Eve edition, so we'll see what we can cook up there. And I appreciate everyone again joining, and let's all stay on the nice list as well. Don't be like that dude in Detroit and put yourself on the naughty list, man. So we'll talk to you guys soon. Merry Christmas, and let's have a good rest of the week and a good weekend, and let's bring an AFC North title to next Wednesday.